But of course, as you know, the shortages continue, and it's not been the same shortages of the same equipment all along. Right now, it does feel like testing really is still constrained, both in New York and around the country, by shortage of specific things that you need to be able to carry out tests and to process them. I wanted to ask you about that in light of your order to New York State nursing homes that they need to start testing all of their staff twice a week, or they're putting their licenses at risk. I know that you've sent out more than 100,000 test kits to nursing homes to help them meet that mandate. But you know that it needs to be a lot more than that. Are you confident that there will be enough tests for nursing homes to be able to do that, and that they'll be able to get their hands on them?
Yeah, I'm confident, Rachel, that there'll be enough tests to do the employees of the nursing homes twice a week. That's going to be our top priority, because that is the top priority. That's the most vulnerable people in the most vulnerable situation. That's how we were introduced to this virus, right, in Seattle, Washington. So we can make that happen. We're ramping up testing all across the board. We're now doing more testing per capita in New York than any state in the country, and more per capita than any country on the globe. So we've been very aggressive about ramping up the testing, and we will do more. I sent 110,000 kits, but that's just for the nursing homes to conduct those tests themselves. They can also go to the drive-thrus. We have drugstores that are now doing the tests. So there's a lot of other testing mechanisms. But you're exactly right on the PPE shortage has now become a testing supply shortage. And we had a period where we went back and forth, the states with the federal government, who's responsible for what, and the federal government was saying the states have to test. But the states couldn't get the tests, and the laboratories in the states couldn't get the supplies from the national manufacturers, because the national manufacturers had an international supply chain that went back to China. I mean, you couldn't, if you wrote this in a movie, they would say you went too far. I then had a conversation with the president. We came up with a rough division of labor where the federal government is going to do the supply chain issues to the national manufacturers. The states will then do the actual administration from the laboratories in those states. But that supply chain still needs more work. We still are unprepared to do what we have to do in testing. It's a scramble once again. Now, on testing, Rachel, no one anticipated ever a testing capacity of this magnitude, right? So we're building the airplane while we're flying it, but we're doing it on a 50-state basis, which gets back to your point in the opening. Every state has to come up with the entire system to do this, whether it was PPE or now testing and the reagents and the vials. So there has to be a better way than we're doing it, but every state is doing what they can.